Alright, so it's time to get this model uploaded to Sketchfab. So you go to sketchfab.com, you can just create a free account like I've done here. And of course I encourage you to go in here and just explore some artworks, some very inspiring work here. And you can also contact the artist directly, maybe ask questions. This is actually an FBX animation file. It's kind of nice. Let's see. Maximize the screen. So if I press number 1, I can see final render. Press number 2 to toggle between different image maps. Here we have the albedo, it's the color map, and opacity. So here we can see that some of these black areas means this is partially transparent, as we see here. And yeah, so those are the only 2 maps for this. So there's no normal map or anything, this is just painted in. Very nice texturing though. Okay, number 3, we have a matte cap material, just a gray. So that's just applied on that. If I press 5, I can also get the wireframe here. On this plane with an opacity map. So of course there's a lot here to do with texturing, but for now what we're going to do is just upload a simple grayscale clay render with the normal map to my account here. So I'm going to just click upload, then we're going to be able to drag and drop the OBJ. So this is the final one we settled on. And yeah, okay, so a couple things I want to do here. I'm going to go to mesh display. I'm just going to click harden edge, and then I'll go unlock normals. Then I'll delete history. And of course, your values here should be zeroed out. Clean history state. So if you didn't already, make sure you freeze transformations. But I'm actually going to again do a soften edge. I'm going to leave this single operation here in the inputs as I export the OBJ. And that will actually ensure that the smoothing information will be exported with the OBJ. There. Okay, and then back to Sketchfab. Let's see. Here we have the OBJ. I'm just going to drag and drop. Might be issues. So no material. That's okay. I can just, I don't need a material. I can just apply the material in Sketchfab. And yeah, I guess I could fill this out if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave it as is. And here on the free account, you do have, unfortunately, a limit. I think like 1. Yeah, so you do have once a month or something. You could do a private model, which would not be accessible by other people. But I don't mind. It's just going to be online here. And if I don't really want people to find it, I could leave this blank. Chances are it will drown in the vastness of Sketchfab. Let's see. So it's a little bit of processing. Took a couple minutes. Here's the simple OBJ. You can go to 3D settings. And here you can navigate kind of like most 3D applications. You hold Control to go in and out. So we can navigate the light source, rotate the light source by holding Alt. And now I do want to change the lighting here though. So yeah, I can turn on ground shadows. That's kind of nice, so it seems grounded. And I kind of like just having a general little baked ambient occlusion here. Just a little bit of contact shadows. So it's baking that. Alright, that works for me. And then here I'm going to change the environment from this. So these are HDRI, image-based lighting, which is lighting this object, and which would also show up in the reflections. So if I did go to the material, say turn the metalness way up, and glossiness up. Now I have a very reflective piece. But for our purposes here, we're not gonna really do any of that. So no metalness, unfortunately, just a kind of boring gray clay render, but it serves to just really show our work in terms of the details we've added in the normal map. So here I'm actually going to change from this industrial room, just select the studio setting to have a very clear lighting scenario. And then, okay, that's all I'm going to do there. And then here in the material again. Alright, so roughness, this is fine. I'm not really going to touch that. But here, of course, we're going to click normal map on, go here, import texture. And I already chose normal map here, so this is the one I got from Maya. But one thing I did is that I just went into Photoshop and I saved as a PNG file from the TIFF. So if you do a PNG, that is a compatible format with Sketchfab. So there's a 4K PNG, select it, and there we go. So I have the normal map applied. Seems to be working quite nicely, except it's let's see. Yeah, not really. So here we have to be a little bit careful and analytical, because yeah, it's on here, but something's a bit off. So you see here, like the light now is coming from this direction, right? Which means if I look at this entire side, it shouldn't really be casting a shadow here on this side, because that's where the light is coming from. So it should be casting a shadow here. Same for this guy and this guy. So it's actually coming from the wrong direction here. So that is an indication that some of the channels need to be flipped. And here you'll see that by default it has flipped the green channel. I'm going to uncheck that. And there we go. So now the shadow is falling correctly on this side of the object. See, hold Alt, I can rotate the light source. Yep. So in this case, I do not want it to flip the green channel. Let me rotate now to my kind of area of interest where I added more details. All right. So that's how we get that in here. And yeah, that kind of works. Here with the post-processing, I will not do any of these, except maybe add a little bit of sharpness, kind of contrast, just to kind of really pick out those details. See, without it and on. Just subtle though. So I don't want to add anything else. This is really just like really just to showcase the model and the sculpt that we did. And that's it. And here I can go publish, save and publish. And here, this is the URL which disappeared. The URL. Let's see if we can get that. Share. Yeah, so this is the Sketchfab link that you would need to share if you wanted to share the model. There you have it. And this could also be embedded, you know, on websites, whatever you want to do. And here we can now go very easily and just press number 3. See the matte cap material, press number 4. We have our UV checker. And here, as we know, we have a little bit of uneven textile density, as we knowingly did. So here we have more resolution down in this little guy. Other than that, the textile density is very even. So except for this little piece, and at the bottom, which should have a little less resolution. So, all right, that is it for the UVs. And press number 1, final render. And 5, we can toggle on and off the wireframe.